Welcome back, guys. This week I'm a very happy woman because Jimmy is going to work on all of this, turning it into kitchen cabinets. I still have some more work to do on the shower, like lots more work to do on the shower, so I'm going to be working on that while Jimmy takes this on. It's always really nice whenever we can divide and conquer on projects like this because it's just so encouraging to pull my head up from what I've been working on and see progress that I didn't have a hand in. It's just extra motivating. It makes things feel like they're going really quickly.
Alright, you heard Natalie. It's time for me to get started on some overhead cabinets.
Last week I was working on the shower and I got most of the brown board up. This week my goal is going to be to finish putting up the brown board, and then I'm going to see how far I can get with putting the FRP, which is Fiberglass Reinforced Plastic, on top of it, which is the waterproof surface. But the first thing I need to do is fix a spot in the wall where it's a little bit weak. I hate that. One thing that looks really neat that I didn't really picture until I started working on this is we have like a little ledge back here on our windowsill, which is going to be super nice because I think we can put our soap on there. It also just kind of gives us a little bit of extra elbow room. Part of the reason I am dreading taking this wall down so much is because I know how hard it was to stuff all the insulation in place back here. And I just have a feeling it's going to like avalanche down as soon as I pull this wall back. I can already hear it falling. Oh. Honestly, it's not that bad. Like, it's like 2 boards. They were puzzle pieced in there, but I can put them back.
I think I found a loophole with these kitchen cabinets. Natalie said I had to make them, but she did not say I had to make them good. So by that, so by those rules, I'm right on track.
So as you can see, the wall is back up. The insulation made its way back in, and check this out. Right? It's like a wall. It doesn't bend in there anymore. So that's nice. It's a really easy fix. I just had to put in one extra support. It was just the final kick in the teeth last week, and I just couldn't do it that day. Now that I've worked on fixing last week's mistake, I can move on to creating new ones this week. Well, hopefully not, I guess, but I can work on putting up the walls and see what happens. Hopefully it'll go a little better. This was the biggest wall that I had to worry about, but I think that this one with the shower head and the mixer valve down here is going to be the trickiest. It's a lot smaller, but I have been putting this one off for last, but the time has come. I gotta work on it now.
The theme I'm choosing for these cabinets is functional. I just cut out all the dividers that will go in between the cabinet areas. I think they might work. I only did one template. I'm just kind of sticking with this one. I'm trying to speed up the process, so you know, hopefully that still works. It's not the prettiest cut, and there's gonna be some gaps, but that's what trim's for. One way or another, we'll make it work. Today was a big success. I finished putting together the framework for the kitchen cabinets. So it is crude to say the least, but we did dry fit it twice. I had to make some adjustments, but it's looking good, or at least functional, which is the theme of this build. We'll be installing it, but first I need to paint it. So we're kind of winding down for today. Natalie is putting in the last of her screws to put up the brown board for the shower. So we're gonna kind of wind down, grab some dinner, take it slow, and then tomorrow we're gonna come back out, and I think I can start painting.
That's it. That's the last of the brown walls. I feel like we're halfway to having a bathroom. Right now it's kind of just a room. That's a big improvement. Good morning. We got a nice early-ish start to the day. I'm just admiring the open exposed wires in the kitchen for one of the last times. The upper cabinets that Jimmy's working on are turning out really nice. They're small enough to not be in the way and not take away any headroom when we're in the kitchen, but they're gonna give us a ton of extra storage, which is super necessary in our kitchen. It kind of looks like we have a lot of storage because we have a big kitchen countertop, but most of that's going to be taken up by our refrigerator and eventually our television, so really we don't have that much space right now, so this is super necessary. I'm already trying to figure out, alright, where the plate's going to go, where do I want to put the cups, all that kind of stuff. I think I'm more excited about organizing and setting these up than Jimmy is, but I think once he's done building them, he'll be excited about that too. If I'm honest with myself, the shower is actually kind of starting to look like something. It might not necessarily look like a shower, but it's a room at least. It has walls. There's also a spot for the shower head and the mixer valve. That was probably the hardest board to cut so far, even though it was not the biggest. But I got it, and I'll just have to be a little bit more careful on the FRP board, but I have this practice and the little template drawn out on it that should hopefully make it not too bad. Working with that FRP board is not the greatest. It's a little worse than cutting wood because the little shards kind of hurt, but the mask does wonders with that. It still hurts my arms, but it's not that bad. I tried cutting it without a mask last week, and it was pretty rough on like the soft skin of my face, so mask all the way. It also kind of stinks right when you cut it. After you cut it, it kind of dissipates pretty quickly, so it's not that bad, but cutting the FRP board is going much faster than cutting the brown boards just because I've done all of these cuts before. I kind of have templates for the more difficult cuts. I'm starting to think about how I'm going to attach them to the wall, and that's going to be a little tricky. I've never actually dealt with gluing using the construction adhesive, and I opened it up to do a quick test piece last week, and it smells really, really strong. So I think the mask is going to come in handy for that. It's going to be a little rough.
I think I need to start giving Natalie a lot more credit for all the painting she's been doing, because this is tedious. I just put on the second coat for the upper cabinets and the drawers that I had made. It's fun to think of new projects to do because we're kind of running out of them. I just did a few things in the electrical box I didn't even think about pulling up the camera for. I just put a new 2x2 on the seat to prevent it from sliding. I rearranged the cables, and I even put an on-off switch for our WeBoost. And that took like 20 minutes. It was so fast. So I'm kind of running out of things to do. So I think I'm gonna try and maybe make some more face plates, because I'll need a bunch of them for all the cabinets that I'm making. So I think I might try to get a head start on that.
So I've seen the upper cabinets. Jimmy has them all painted, sitting outside in the sun. I just can't wait to put it in place and then assemble them. And later today, we're gonna go and pick out some handles and hinges. So the kitchen is about to look a lot more put together if everything goes well.
Are you ready to see some really functional kitchen cabinets?
I don't know, I'm looking at them. They're outside right now, but they look really pretty. I feel like you've gotten the hang of making cabinets and cabinet faces, and I know that they'll be functional, and I believe that they will be pretty as well. So.
All right, I'm glad that makes one of us.
They're up. It already looks so much better. There's one more thing that we need to check, and that's that we didn't get in the way of our TV cabinet.
I am worried about this because we just installed this and I'm not taking it back down. So we'll see if we have to downsize our TV or not.
Yeah. Wow.
That's nice. That is really not bad.
Wow, that'll work.
Perfect. Well, that was a coincidence.
So this is my first time working with contact cement. This stuff seems pretty serious. I read the entire can before I'm gonna get started, and it's super flammable, so much so that we are going to turn off our propane and disconnect the water heater so there aren't any accidents related to that. I think I'm gonna wear a mask and gloves the whole time I'm working with it, and we're gonna do our best to keep the bus ventilated so that the fumes aren't sitting there. I just hope that this does what I want it to, and that I don't hurt myself or our bus in the process.
I think it's just now hitting me, the difference between my project and Natalie's project. My mind is just going numb from painting all day. And Natalie's over there, she's worrying about her construction adhesive and whether it's gonna blow up our bus or not. And I'm just over here just painting all day. This is what I've been doing for like 8 hours now, and I still have more to go.
That smells really bad for you. Oh God. It's actually pretty shocking, like how bad it is.
I finally get to do something other than paint. All of these are dried, and now I can install the hinges. These will be going in the brand new overhead cabinets.
These are super nice. I'm trying to figure out where I want to put everything. My first thought is to put the plates and everything in here so that we can put them away quickly when we do dishes. And then I think the rest of the overhead storage will be really good for some food storage, because so far we hardly have any of that. They're pretty perfect because you can easily lean in to open and close the window without hitting your head on this, but I think that they make use of as much space as you could reasonably get out of this without getting in your own way. And also, we got the soft close hinges. I really like them. They were the cheapest ones at the store, surprisingly, for the, for this kind of hinge. And I can't figure out why, because look how smooth that is. It's crazy.
These turned out a lot better than I hoped they would. The hinges are so smooth, which like they should be, but I was so used to the cabinet hinges that I had installed earlier. But those are so smooth. It's crazy. So I'm feeling really good about that. Unfortunately, you can still see the wires when you open up the cabinet. So I need to do something about that. Not sure what yet, but I'll make it look pretty.
Yesterday I managed to get up a couple of the walls and I used the entire quart of contact cement. The tricky part of working with this is that it bonds on contact. So as soon as they touch, they're stuck permanently. So if you put a board on slightly crooked, it's just gonna stay crooked. So it's a little tough to work with. I'm gonna start today with the trickiest and largest board because I need to be as mentally sharp as I can be for that. I've just been trying to put them up as neatly as I can, but the fumes are pretty bad. It's kind of a race against the clock to get this one massive board on correctly, or it's going to get much, much harder. So Jimmy's work in the kitchen obviously looks amazing. I don't think the shower is prettier than what Jimmy's working on. I'm still proud of it anyway. We have all the walls and the ceiling up, and that is true for the cubby as well. It's obviously not perfect. There are tons of very large seams, and I'm calling it. I'm happy with it. I'm just relieved to have these walls up. I really thought it was gonna take me like 2 or 3 days, and here we are 2 weeks later and I'm finally done. I think the final thing that it's missing before I put in all the silicone is the overhead light. We ran the wires for this a couple months ago and we've just had them dangling. So it should be pretty easy, just connect it and then connect the switch. Jimmy just found this really cool little guy hanging out on our bus. This praying mantis, he's exactly the same color as our bus. He's very cool, he moves really smooth. For our shower light, we're just using one of the puck lights like we have throughout the rest of the bus. We are going to put it on a dimmer switch and it will be outside of the bathroom, so you'll have to turn it on before you go in. And I think we're gonna put it near the bed. Jimmy and I are generally pretty nice to each other. We don't do pranks or anything like that, so I'm not worried at all about having the switch outside of the bathroom. I think it just makes more sense and it's one less thing for us to waterproof. One of my favorite additions to our electrical setup has been this breaker switch. It's so nice because if we need to do any work on the DC appliances, like hook up a shower light and a switch like I just did, we can just switch it off and then switch it back on afterwards, and it's not a big deal. So I flipped the breaker switch back on and the light's already on. So I'm gonna try and make sure that the switch will turn it off, but I'm not too worried about it. It's pretty bright. Here's the switch for it. Turns it on. I can dim it if I want to, and then turn it off. Okay. I really hope this is gonna hide the hole I cut. Ah. Oh no! No! Come back!
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Alright. Silicone will fix that. Ooh! That's cool. Gosh, that's better than I thought it would be. The white walls really help brighten it up. Also the open window, but that's cheating.
Well, I feel like I'm being outdone by Natalie on every step of the way, but I might as well show off what I've been doing.
It looks so good.
So I've been putting all of these handles on. Doesn't that just look so nice, Natalie?
I love it.
So we've driven the bus once since we put in these drawers, and both drawers flew all the way out. So we've already experienced that. So we bought these latches, and I just finished installing them. After we close it, we can lock it up. So it's no shower, but our stuff won't go flying now, so it's basically the same thing, right?
It's a win in my book. So I have a little advice for anyone who's thinking about doing their own conversion in the summer in the southern United States, and that is, don't. Wait till the winter if you can. I'm putting up this tape, and it is literally like peeling off as I'm putting it on because it is so hot and so humid that the tape will not work. I didn't make myself redo any of these cuts, even though there were some pretty big gaps in between some of the panels when I put them up. So the trade-off to that is there's going to be a lot of silicone on the edges. I've made peace with it. I've already gone through one entire bottle, and we're going to have to go to the store to get more. I taped off everything, and honestly it looks kind of cool. I like the design of the tape, but I think it's probably going to take a couple of rounds of siliconing, and this is probably all I'll get done with the shower for this week. I'm super happy with how far I got though. I think it's really cool. I'm trying to get geared up so that I can start working on making a custom shower pan later, which is going to be quite an endeavor.
I just finished fixing something from last week. I got in those heavy duty slides and just mounted it to the cabinet we'll be using for our slide away fridge. And so I think we should test it. So it has a 250-pound weight limit. So the only thing we got close enough to that is Natalie.
I'm not close to that.
So she's gonna try out our brand new heavy duty slides. All right, be careful. All right, turn around.
Don't roll me in.
No, I won't.
I'm trying to distribute the weight real even.
True. All right, let's see if she fits. There we go. Gotta stow away Natalie. Oh, she didn't break it, so I think it works. Natalie did a great job on her shower this week. I think this was a good redemption arc for her. Last week was not the best, but this week we really pulled it together, and I think we got a lot done, and we felt good about it.
That's all we have for you guys this time. If you haven't already, please make sure to hit the subscribe button. It really helps us out.
Yeah, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Bye!